Всем привет, дамы и господа, с вами Александр Заренко. Топ-20 видеороликов на YouTube, которые привели к огромным судебным искам.
We knew this was Kevin's MO. This is what he does to shut people down.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're examining the most infamous times videos released by YouTubers caused another party to issue a lawsuit for one reason or another.
The idea was...
Я на превью увидел, ёпта, знакомое лицо, которое также мелькало в поп-культе. Поэтому решил посмотреть.
To just do another fun vlog.
Ну конечно. Лес японский, да.
Go camp for a night and make an entertaining piece of content in a forest.
Copycat suit. Alyssa Shiel. This lawsuit has the potential to change the game for influencers forever.
How hard is it to lay claim to an aesthetic, something intangible like a vibe?
Блять, я впервые слышу, что чтобы можно было подать, блять, заявить права на вайб. Что за хуйня?
It is such a layered issue.
On various social media sites, including YouTube, Alyssa Shiel is an influencer who orders loads from Amazon for her videos. She also tends to favor beige aesthetics and similar styles, earning the nickname Clean Girl. This pushed Shiel into conflict with influencer Sydney Nicole Gifford, who claimed she was stealing her brand. In 2024, Gifford issued a suit against Shiel for
Нихуя себе, блядь.
Copyright infringement. She claimed she met Shiel in 2023 at an event. Gifford was soon blocked online by Shiel, and then allegedly began following a similar style. If this lawsuit goes to trial, it would change the landscape for how copyright is handled involving influencers.
Пиздец.
It is an unprecedented case.
За то, что сдаем про эту хуйню лайк.
And it could really change the content creator world and the economy because influencers can now be beholden to copyright law and they would have to be careful how they arrange things.
Ну, блядь, оно просто хотело делать как ты. Вспомните кодов маразма, блядь. У Джаста Плеера вышел видос про кодов маразма. Типа, блядь, прикиньте, если Данька брал, ёпта, и на всех подавал в суд. На друга своего, на коллег.
One person owns an aesthetic.
Nintendo's piracy lawsuit.
Блять, да что такое? У меня прошлая реакция, да, можно было про Nintendo. Я король совпадений, мать его.
Every game guru. Nintendo is well known for taking action against those it accuses of infringing on its intellectual property. Yet, if the allegations are true, it's a pretty straightforward case against Jesse Kean and his Every Game Guru brand.
Video game company Nintendo, they're suing a man in Colorado for millions of dollars.
In
2024,
Nintendo issued a lawsuit against him for streaming pirated games on his YouTube channel and other services, including games that were not yet officially released.
Вот блогер, конечно, хуёво поступил.
The video game giants also claimed Kean had told his followers how to pirate the games.
The company says that he
тут можно понять японцев.
Streamed pirated, leaked video games on YouTube, Discord, Twitch, and other platforms. The lawsuit claims that the pirating started as early
Ну, бля, Nintendo. А как эти недоделанные игры появляются, блядь, в сети?
as 2022.
The games
Как они появляются в интернете?
involved include The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and Pikmin 4.
Я думал, это вообще ролик с Ютуба, ёпта. А это игра.
Nintendo
Ну, графика, кстати...
Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Mario and Luigi
Ну, прикольно же.
Brothership, and Pikmin 4. Nintendo also
Да и вот эти чибики тоже прикольно выглядят.
issued takedown notices, which led Kean to delete many of his accounts. Mountains of lawsuits. The Ace family. Once one of the biggest family channels on the platform, the Ace family fell from grace in their personal lives as one legal issue popped up.
We said we were going to take a break off YouTube and you guys didn't want to believe us. And we took a break.
In 2021, Catherine McBroom was issued with a lawsuit by TBL Cosmetics for trying to stage a coup. LiveX Live issued a suit against Austin McBroom for breach of contract after hosting an influencer boxing event. That case was settled in 2022.
Даёшь по ПММА!
At the same time, the McBroom house was foreclosed on and put up for auction. In 2023, the Ace family channel stopped posting on YouTube. The following year, Austin and Catherine split up.
I obviously knew what was going to come with the separation.
Ну зато, дом зато нахуй не нужен.
Right. I knew it wasn't going to be all positive vibes.
But the legal
Imaginations. Воображение.
issues weren't done. In 2024, Austin was sued by Brittany Collinson for entering her house without consent for videos. Predatory hunter sued, anxiety war. Another genre of YouTube content is vigilantism, where creators will attempt to get justice against someone while recording
Разоблачение.
them. One such channel was Zach Swear's Anxiety War, which targeted predators by pretending to be children online.
Why?
А, это... У кодов по-разному, кстати, выходило дохуя таких видео.
Why?
One of the subjects for a video was Zachary Snowink. In 2016,
Why?
one of the subjects
Блять, даже тут братишкин.
for a video was Zachary Snowink. In 2016, Snowink issued a lawsuit against Swears despite being criminally charged with attempting to meet up with what he believed was a minor. Snowink's lawsuit made several accusations against Swears, including believed was a minor. Snowink's lawsuit
Нахуя судье носить бабочку? Ну ладно. Он выглядит как чел из казино.
made several accusations against Swears.
Один раз, кстати, мне мой бро сказал, что у меня голос похож на как у чела из казино. Ёбаный рот этого казино, блядь.
Swears, including slander, invading privacy, and claims Swears had edited footage to make Snowink look worse. Alistair Kulk followed with a similar lawsuit before both cases were settled. However, Swears' evidence was used in the criminal case against Snowink. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation.
The judge put Snowink on probation for 2 years and ordered him to perform 120 hours of community service.
Clinton copyright case. Sargon of Akkad. Best known for her YouTube channel, Akilah Obviously, Akilah Hughes recorded footage of Hillary Clinton at the presidential election night party in 2016.
Hi YouTube, it's Akilah, obviously.
However, she then saw her footage was used by the controversial YouTuber Carl Benjamin on his Sargon of Akkad channel for a video titled SJW Levels of Awareness. In response, Hughes issued a suit against Benjamin for copyright infringement in 2017.
О, блядь, охуеть. Если у нас как делают, берут и кидают страйки, то тут, ёпта, то на Западе просто. Не понравилось, что твой фрагмент используют в видео, идешь в суд.
It started out as a very exciting evening and like full of hope that we would be like in a historic moment under a glass ceiling, like getting to be in the room where it's happening with Hillary.
In 2020, the judge dismissed Hughes' claim and ruled that Benjamin using the video clip was acceptable under fair use. As a result, Hughes had to pay his legal fees and costs, which were nearly $39,000. Bushfire blame. Friendly Geordies. From 2019 to 2020, Black Summer took place in Australia, where bushfires ran rampant as
Там шторы не закрывай, это лампу. Нет? Все хорошо.
properties were destroyed and hundreds of lives were lost. After the devastation, Jordan Shanks, better known as Friendly Geordies, took to YouTube to blame politician John Barilaro for the fires and accuse him of corruption.
It's obvious when you look at Giovanni's decisions and comments that he's a moron, but I at least thought he'd be smart enough to come up with an excuse that is a little better than.
Bros, it's not the government's fault, it's the,
Бля, это как будто Джон Трот кого-то пародирует. Это так звучит.
government's fault.
Shanks also mocked Barilaro's Italian heritage at events by dressing up as Mario. Barilaro filed a lawsuit against Shanks for defamation and Google for not removing the videos. Then, controversy arose when Shanks' producer, Christo Lanker, was arrested for harassment, bringing accusations Barilaro was lying. The Shanks lawsuit was settled in 2021. Shortly after, Barilaro resigned from politics, blaming the Shanks scandal as the cause. In 2022, Google had to pay Barilaro $715,000.
Right up until last week, Google planned to mount a number of defenses that
Блять. Много.
Right up until last week, Google planned to mount a number of defenses.
Но они многомиллиардная компания.
They have since
Так что, может быть, на них похуй.
been dropped. The courts heard the internet giant offered to settle last year, but Barilaro says he's never received an apology, adding that
Причем, блядь, не блогер отвечает, а компания, которая владеет видеохостингом, которая его создала. Так, еще раз, я тут отвлекся, ну-ка. Просил удалить, но не удалил. А пришлось улаживать Google.
Been dropped. The courts heard the internet giant offered to settle last year, but Barilaro says he's never received an apology, adding that would have gone a long way.
Reward refusal.
An apology.
Вот это идет судье.
Adding that would have gone a long way.
Reward refusal. Ryan Leslie. While on tour in Germany in 2010, Ryan Leslie's laptop, which contained intellectual property, was stolen from his car. In response, the musician put out a video asking for it back, offering a reward of $1 million.
You put up what is it, $1 million?
That's right.
If someone.
Ты ебанутый? Ты ебанутая? Ты чё, тупая? А ничего что?
Could return your laptop, was
yeah.
it? And so the laptop was returned without the songs.
Without the intellectual property.
Пидорас, блядь.
So the drive that we received was corrupted, and we weren't able to retrieve the data.
Amazingly, the laptop was found by local garage owner Armin
И чё тебе? И нахуя тебе удалять?
Augustine, who
Ты был его хейтером?
returned it to Leslie. However, the intellectual property was missing. As such, the musician refused to pay the award.
Правильно, пошел он нахуй.
In 2012, after Augustine sued and won, Leslie had to pay the $1 million.
А ты сказал, почему удалены песни, блядь?
Plus $180,000 in interest. Leslie then attempted to file for bankruptcy, leading to more legal issues. In 2017, Leslie agreed to forfeit the rights to his music catalog until the fees to Augustine were paid.
And I said, look, here, just take a portion of my old catalog and just chill over there. Stop coming after me for all types of other money. Take this as long as you're fine with that, because they realize, hey, look, the catalog is actually still generating money. I'm fine with that as a revenue stream if he doesn't want to give me a lump sum.
Parody problem. Matt Davella, as part of his
Блять. Ну, у нас извинялись максимум за пародии, а тут, блять.
course at the Commonwealth University of Pennsylvania, Matt Davella teamed up with his brother Mark to poke fun at gangster rap with the parody song Produce Paradise in 2007.
The fresh beats, baby, you know what I mean. Supply the highest quality of every breed.
Бля, прикольно.
While working at an A&P store, the duo, calling themselves Fresh Beats, rapped about working in a grocery store. However, some lines upset their employers. At one point, the brothers imply they urinate on items if a customer is rude, rather than enjoy the clear parody and the free publicity.
Ну да. Блять, ну... А чё?
Imply they urinate on items if a customer is rude. Rather than enjoy the clear parody and the free publicity, A&P fired the Davellas and issued a $1 million lawsuit against them, demanding they scrub the video from the internet.
It's all about the produce, you don't like the kid. It's the lower middle portion of the food pyramid.
In 2008, the brothers reportedly settled the case by removing the video.
Зачем платить? Удали видео и все.
However, it can still be found online. USC lawsuit, Eric Kanefsky and Hugo Bai. Being a practical joke content creator can be a slippery slope. Often, they end up going too far, as was the case of Eric Kanefsky and Hugo Bai.
It just happens to be a big coincidence. And on top of that, I'm Jewish myself. I actually moved to the US as a Jewish refugee because my grandpa was discriminated against.
The duo worked together on a video at the University of Southern California in 2022. As students were in a lecture about the atrocities during World War II, Kanefsky walked in as his Russian mafia persona. Bai on the atrocities during World War II, Kanefsky walked in as his Russian mafia persona. Bai, on the other hand, came in as Hugo Boss, who made the uniforms for Germany at the time. This sparked mass panic among the students as they feared for their lives and left quickly.
We were just going to class and some man came in about 20 minutes late.
This really big guy walked in and he started screaming about something.
Another man came in with a briefcase. He was on the phone screaming about like where the money was.
USC was livid and issued a lawsuit and a restraining order against Kanefsky and Bai, which was granted. speculating about Keely Rodney, Ryan Upchurch. In 2022, teenager Keely Rodney vanished on her way back from a party in Truckee, California. For 2 weeks, her family desperately searched for her.
Rodney was last seen at a party at the Prosser family campground near Truckee early Saturday mornings.
Unfortunately, Rodney's body and her car were found in a lake after an accidental crash. With the rise of true crime influencers, Ryan Upchurch was one such person to jump on the case. However, he released various videos claiming that Rodney didn't exist and that it was a scheme by the family to raise money from crowdfunding sites.
Why y'all trying to cover it up so bad? What function do you got going on that involves this? What are you selling? What kind of money are you making?
Understandably, this caused outrage. On top of a petition created calling for Upchurch's removal from YouTube, Rodney's family also issued a lawsuit against him for defamation. In 2024, the suit was given a green light by a judge to proceed. The Wrong Chris Hansen, Repzion and Chris Hansen. Known for creating YouTube skits, the wheels of James Jackson's career as Onision came off in 2019 as allegations about grooming came to light. This led to Daniel Sulzbach, aka Repzion, making videos about Jackson, criticizing his behavior.
Unlike my previous videos on Onision, this is a very, very serious video. This is not made with the intention of, here's the tea, grab some popcorn. This video is serious in nature.
Best known for his To Catch a Predator series, Chris Hansen, now operating a YouTube channel, approached Jackson's home in 2020 to discuss the allegations. Instead, Jackson called the cops and later filed a lawsuit against Hansen and Sulzbach for harassment.
He went to court filing his own motion for some sort of restraining order, and it was dismissed. It was, is one of the goofiest things I've ever seen.
However, another Chris Hansen was reportedly served with a lawsuit and wrote to the judge asking for the suit to be dismissed. In response, Jackson dropped the case. In 2023, Jackson was handed a lawsuit for allegedly using his channel for grooming. The FTX lawsuit. Various. At its peak, FTX was one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchange companies around. With the influx of cash, the firm signed a lot of celebrities to endorse its services.
The lawsuit is essentially...
Да, FTX провалилась, блядь. У них была реклама на суперкубке. Короче, в конце был прикол... Короче, концепция строится в том, что чел говорит, что вот кофе хуйня, лампочка хуйня, туалет хуйня. FTX, он сказал, ну, я думаю, это не очень хорошая идея. И он оказался, блядь, прав. FTX провалилась. Оказалось финансовой мошеннической криптохуйней.
Actually alleging that those folks, the people who suggested FTX, are responsible for fraud in any way for fraud at FTX.
This included YouTubers such as Kevin Pathrath, Brian Jung, and Erica Kohlberg.
Brian Jung. Сейчас, сек.
In 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. It was soon discovered that the higher-ups in the firm, including co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried and Carolyn Ellison, were involved in massive fraud. As a result, many customers lost their money. In 2023, 8 YouTubers who had promoted FTX in their videos were issued with a $1 billion class action lawsuit for...
Да. Ну, на самом деле, все, блядь, блядь. Ну это пиздец, типа, это как блогер, который рекламирует ставки. Блядь, ты сам, сука, решаешь, ставить или нет. Блядь, ну ты, блядь, подумай башкой, ёб твою мать. Предъявляйте главе FTX.
Leading their audiences. Tom Nash and Pathrath soon settled their cases.
The rest of these influencers are accused of promoting FTX and getting paid for it. It also accuses them of not conducting adequate, if any, due diligence.
The copyright case.
Благодаря этому человеку появилась программа плюс 100-500.
Jukin Media. Ray William Johnson created the YouTube series =3, which examined viral videos and commented on them.
So our first video, it's a cat video. Yeah, I know, you're already pissed off at me, but I don't want to hear it.
It quickly made him one of the platform's biggest stars, as the channel was the first to hit 5 million subscribers. However, in 2014, Jukin Media, which licenses online videos, issued a lawsuit against Johnson for using their clips. The group also demanded that 41 videos be removed. While a judge seemed to agree with Johnson in 2015, in 2016, the trial got underway. Once the legal teams made their closing arguments, Johnson and Jukin Media settled the case.
So where do we go from here?
For Johnson, this was seemingly the best decision, as reportedly the jury was set to take Jukin Media's side. Digital homicide's fury, Jim Sterling. James Stephanie Sterling, best known for her YouTube channel Jim Sterling, is an influencer in video game journalism.
There we are. Another year in the bin. I'd say the bag, but that bag's just going in the bin.
Well, in 2014, she turned her attention to the game, The Slaughtering Grounds, by the company Digital Homicide. Sterling slammed the product, calling it one of the year's worst games and criticizing it for using assets from Google Images. She also claimed the company targeted any criticism by deleting negative comments and banning players. In 2016, Digital Homicide issued a lawsuit against Sterling for defamation for $10.8 million, rising to $11.6 million with individual claims. The company then increased the demand for $15 million. However, after Digital Homicide had folded, the suit was dismissed with prejudice in 2017.
I don't find this
Вот и всё, блядь.
lawsuit funny. It's not funny, it's disgusting. I
Disgusting.
think it's an incredibly
Блядь, свобода слова, для кого придумана, ёб твою мать.
despicable, underhanded attempt to undermine my free expression and
Чё, блядь, свобода слова стоит 15 миллионов долларов?
stop me doing my legally protected job.
Kevin Hart's
Свобода слова, блядь, свободно.
XPA allegation.
Тавтология.
Tasha K. Known for discussing celebrity stories with her channel, Unwind with Tasha K. Tasha K has ruffled famous feathers.
The longer he stays entangled with me, I'm sure there are other people that got their eyes on him. I'm the least of his worries. I do my little gossip, drink my little wine, talk about you, cheating on your wife. That's as far as it goes, bro. I ain't got nothing against you. I do this to everybody. This ain't malicious.
Several times, this has caused the law to get involved. In 2023, Tasha spoke to Kevin Hart's former personal assistant, Misha Shakes, who worked
Misha Shakes. Наш.
for him for 3 years. During the chat, Shakes claimed Hart had a gambling problem and that she'd had an affair with the married actor. Hart soon issued a lawsuit against Shakes and Tasha for defamation and extortion after she allegedly offered to not publish the interview if he paid her $250,000.
I've been reporting on Kevin for years. All that shit that was in that interview, we've been talked about that. It wasn't even an explosive interview because I had already put out that information. Right. But to have somebody from his office, his corporate office, come sit down and say, yeah, girl, that's what happened.
In 2022, while the suit was allowed to proceed to court, Hart's attempt to file a restraining order to get the video removed was rejected. In 2025, the case was settled. BTS sue for defamation. Taldoc Camp. Park Sojong, armed with her channel Taldoc Camp, soon became infamous in South Korea for her critical videos about the country's celebrities.
A 36-year-old YouTuber identified as Park has received a suspended prison sentence for posting malicious fake videos defaming celebrities and influencers.
Her unsubstantiated claims earned her the title of Cyber Wrecker. Among her targets were BTS members V and Jungkook.
О, блядь, ну все, пизда тебе от армии. Пока вы лежите на миллионах, они зарабатывают диваны. Помните этот мем?
In 2024, with support from the agency, the BTS members sued Park for defamation, requesting 90 million Korean won, or roughly 62,000 United States dollars in compensation. In 2025 in won, or roughly 62,000 United States dollars. In compensation. In 2025, on top of getting a 2-year suspended sentence and fined around $139,000 for another celebrity defamation case, Park lost the lawsuit to V and Jungkook. She was ordered to pay around $53,000.
Related to the criminal charges made, the Incheon District Court this week sentenced Park to 2 years in prison, suspended for 3 years for defamation and insulting celebrities.
H3H3 versus Matt Hossein Zod.
О, да, H3H3, я знаю, что это скандальная личность благодаря, блядь, P47.
Day. H3H3
Better Call Saul.
Productions.
Better Call Just.
Created by married couple Ethan and Gila Klein, the YouTube channel H3H3 Productions specializes in skits and reaction videos. However, this latter genre got the company in legal trouble.
Yes, we are being sued for copyright infringement. And it's been hanging over our lives like a cloud these past months.
In 2016, Matt Hossein Daze, who operates the channel Matt Haas Zone, contacted H3H3 after the channel created content featuring his video and asked them to take it down, which they allegedly refused to do. So, Hossein Daze filed a lawsuit for copyright infringement, claiming it couldn't be deemed free use since H3H3 didn't contribute any substantial material to his video.
The only other thing I can tell you is that I'm going to fight for my right
until the very end.
In 2017, the judge ruled in H3H3's favor and ruled that the clip fell under free use. Cardi B's defamation lawsuit, Tasha K. Long before she ran into trouble with Kevin Hart, Cardi B issued a lawsuit against Tasha K in 2019.
In my opinion, I didn't do anything wrong. I interviewed somebody that she had dealings with. That girl said a lot of shit, you know? And to me, it was right up my alley on my channel.
The suit for defamation took umbrage with Tasha for a video claiming Cardi had STDs, cheated on her then husband, and used illegal substances. In 2022, the rapper won her case, incurring fines over $4 million. Tasha for a video claiming Cardi too. The rapper won her case, incurring fines over $4 million for Tasha. However, the YouTube host then filed for bankruptcy, claiming she couldn't afford to pay Cardi. As such, with allegations that Tasha was hiding her finances, the judge ruled that she must pay Cardi the cash.
Were you astonished when you ended up losing?
I was surprised because I was just like, but I really wasn't surprised because the judge had already.
Мне так нравится этот говор. Охуенный. Respect.
He kept out a lot of stuff because everything that I commented on came out of her mouth.
In 2025, the two parties agreed to a payment plan of $1.2 million over 5 years. The Vlog Squad stunt disaster, David Dobrik. In 2020, David Dobrik's Vlog Squad was filming a stunt in Utah. At one point, with Dobrik operating an
Мне показалось, и там было написано в Юте.
David Dobrik's Vlog Squad was filming a stunt.
Да, я подумал в Юге или в Юте.
In Utah. At one point, with Dobrik operating an excavator in the water, Jeff Wittick held onto a rope as it swung in a circle.
I just jumped out of a plane 20 times. What's the worst that could happen?
The already recklessly
Поднимает, а потом опускает.
Fast Dobrik suddenly stopped the machine, causing Wittick to clatter into the excavator before falling into the water. Wittick sustained many severe injuries, nearly losing an eye. He released the footage on his YouTube channel in 2021. The following year, after Dobrik seemingly blamed Wittick for what happened, the Jeff's Barbershop host issued a lawsuit against his former friend for $10 million in damages. After numerous surgeries in 2024, Wittick admitted he paid $90,000 out of pocket for the eye injury.
I love life. I'm very fortunate. Even with my smashed face, I still get acting jobs, you know?
Поздравляю.
WME booked me a tour, so I'm still accomplishing a lot of shit, but my social life is zero. I'm far from home. I don't live with anybody.
Before we continue.
А, ну тут WE написано.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option for settings and switch on notifications.
The Japanese forest.
Ну, конечно.
Logan Paul. In late 2017, YouTube's biggest scandal took place when Logan Paul
Aokigahara.
uploaded footage from his trip to Japan.
It doesn't make any sense. And I believe it happened for a reason. And I think that reason is so I could take this experience, learn from it, spread the message the right way.
While at a forest infamous for people taking their own lives within, he released footage of one such person. Immediately, outrage rained down on Paul.
Пиздец.
This caused the film Airplane Mode, in which Paul had an acting and writing role, to delay the release until 2019 and lose its publishing deal with Google. In 2020, the movie's production company,
люди выбираются из зашкваров.
Plainless Pictures, filed a $3 million lawsuit against Paul, claiming he deliberately destroyed the film's release and cost them money.
I think we got off on the wrong foot.
In 2024, shortly before the case was set to go to court, the two parties agreed to a settlement.
Ага, слава богу. Ну все, короче, новая карьера продолжается, видос хвостурбиста снимается. Все у него хорошо. Prime продается.
Do we miss any other YouTube videos that led to lawsuits? Let us know in the comments.
Were you astonished when you ended up losing?
No!
I was surprised because I was just like, But I really wasn't surprised because the judge had already kept out a lot of stuff because everything that I commented on came out of her mouth.
Did you?
Блять, охуительно. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, жмите на колокольчик, чтобы сказать новое видео, пишите комментарии, ставьте телегу, с вами был Алекс Назаренко, всем спасибо за просмотр, всем пока.